Please bear with me. I thank God for the opportunity to speak to you today. As you know, we are here to celebrate African American History Month. But let us understand that there is no month, especially February, the third month of the year, that can contain or is enough to state our glorious past and our present contributions. However, in the allotted time that we have, we will attempt to briefly show you the continuing spirit and soul of our people from Africa to the present. Indian slaves, black-skinned, nappy hair, like us. He had heard the words of God spoken by Prophet Muhammad at that time, and he had refused to submit to his master. So his master had to teach him a lesson, because he wanted all the slaves to be infected with this belief in one God, because they had 365 gods. So his master took Bilal out and put him in the hot sun and tied him down on the stake and beat him and beat him. And he kept asking Bilal, he said, Bilal, how many gods are there? How many gods are there? And Bilal would say, one God, Ahad, one God. And his master got frustrated, and his master went and grabbed a great big stone and laid it on Bilal's chest. And Bilal screamed out in pain and could not speak no more. So the master got close to him, and he said, how many gods are there now, Bilal? And Bilal, his voice going, all he could do was raise a finger and say one God. His master was about to kill him, and one of the companions of the prophet purchased Bilal from his master and set him free. Bilal subsequently became the first call of prayer to the Muslim religion and was placed over the storehouses. Bilal represents our faith, our conscience. When they brought us here, that we were not good with business. We were not business-minded. But there was a man named William Whipper during the time when blacks were not allowed to own property. He was an abolitionist. He advocated nonviolence 300 years before Gandhi and King. He was a successful businessman and involved in the moral reform society. When most blacks did not own property, Whipper owned 27 of the most sought-after railroad cars. The business spirit was not dead. The business spirit was alive. Who established the first female and the first black-owned bank in this country, Mandy Walker. She established the St. Luke's Penny Savings Bank. The struggle continued. In the 60s, there were two other giants making their presence known and felt throughout America and throughout the world. One was Dr. Martin Luther King, who put his life on the line to change the ugly Jim Crow laws that were segregating and affecting our people. A lot of us don't realize, and some of us may want to call him a Tom, but it took great courage for him to stand up to racist America. It took great courage for him to stand up to the door and the holes. That took a great courage. We should not forget that, and we should not take his contribution lightly. And King was also revolving, and he, at his death, was trying to establish economic equality as well as civil equality. And just before he was assassinated, he was to meet with Elijah Muhammad. He, too, was initiating and institutionalizing changes among the African Americans, encouraging respect for self, education, social reform, and health and hygiene. Both of these great men were changing America, were charging America to live up to its high aspirations. And Malcolm Shabazz, or Malcolm X, had the courage to take on white America one-on-one and establish places of worship all over America, including Malcolm Shabazz Master, which is named after him today. And Malcolm Shabazz, with his outspokenness, attracted many African Americans into a new sense of self-respect and a new sense of dignity. That genetic courage is still with us. So let's reflect for a second. So why were these leaders so successful? And believe me, they were all successful. It's because that we were forced to raise and stand upon solid moral ground and challenge the America that was saying that we were slaves and inferior by nature. We didn't go into Africa and regress or go before there was Christianity or before there was Al-Islam. We didn't go into paganism or ancestor worship. We said to white America, make your behavior compatible with your claims. We were on solid ground, supported by our God-created inherent excellence. But they killed King, and they killed Malcolm at age 39, before they could reach their full potential. But the genetic link was not severed. In 1975, W.D. Muhammad, the son of Elijah Muhammad, transformed single-handedly the nation of Islam and brought it into the true Islam that we know today. With his strong belief in God and his insight into the scriptures. Today we have over 200 schools, 2 colleges, and 40 high schools, and encourage the development of individual businesses based on God consciousness. On February 5th, 1992, he delivered an historic address at the Pentagon, delivered a prayer at the U.S. Senate, and delivered the invocation for Muslims at the Clinton inauguration. As I close, let us just remember that faith in God is the greatest cement to hold us together than any other force. And that's the power that has kept us alive, and the power that they can't stop. It's in our genes. We can't help ourselves. Thank you. Mr. Muhammad. I'd like to bring up the County Assistant Specialist, Mr. Pettigrew.